Hello and welcome to All Things Aussie Footy, covering everything from the AFL to the AFLW. My name is Ashley, and as always, thank you for joining me on today's episode. Today we'll be looking at the next round of the 2022 Toyota AFL Premiership season, round 5, beginning on Thursday, April the 14th. I can't wait for it. But before all of that, guys, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, leave a like, put your bell notification on, and let me know what you guys think about the videos, what you want to see included into them, or what you want to change up. I'm open to all suggestions. Also, go follow us on our socials on Facebook at All Things Aussie Footy. I'll be on there. You can send me a message. I try to get back to everyone's messages or even respond to everyone when I can. So go ahead and do that, guys. But other than that, don't shut down this video because we're in for a massive week beginning on Thursday night. Up at the Gabba, Brisbane versus Collingwood. Massive clash. Devon Robinson and Tom Fullerton are out of the side with Kyle Oman and Oscar McInerney coming back in for Brisbane. While Collingwood gain the likes of Jordan McGoey, Jordan Ruffhead, Mason Cox, Nathan Kruger and Taylor Adams. Massive names in there for the Collingwood side. Unfortunately, Brody Mychek has entered health and safety protocols. Jamie Elliott is out injured. So a couple of names, big names coming in, a couple of big names out. Got a couple of milestones as well. So Kyle Oman obviously making his debut coming into the team. And Lachie Neale playing game 200 in the AFL. Obviously, as probably most of you are aware, if you don't know already, he did play with Fremantle and then got a trade to the Brisbane Lions because of family matters. Another one, Jeremy Howe from Collingwood will be playing also in game number 200. So two very big games there, both one for Lachie Neale and one for Jeremy Howe. Both will be hungry to get that win in game number 200. But the teams are looking absolutely amazing. Another round coming up. It's going to be a cracker. I can't wait to see this one. With the names coming in, it's going to be a very close game up at the Gabba there. John Noble is the substitute for Collingwood, while Brisbane's substitute is Nakia Cockatoo. I'm sorry if I did pronounce that wrong, but the subs have been named. I can't wait for it to get started. Tip for this week for this game. Obviously, Brisbane, I feel, are just going to be way too strong up at the Gabba. The spiritual home. It will be a cracking game, though. Can't wait for that one. Next game we got a back-to-back Friday night game. We've got a Friday afternoon game being Easter. So happy Easter to everyone out there if you've lasted this far into the video. Starting on Easter Friday, we've got North Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs. Josh Bruce loves playing against North Melbourne. Last year kicked 10 goals against them in what was an absolute smashing. Unfortunately, he is out for most of the season, so North don't have to worry about that. But this game will be played at Marvel Stadium at 2:20 in the afternoon. So Tom Powell and Mitch Wallace have been named as the substitutes for both teams. Aidan Bonner and Cameron Zurhaar are both out of the team. Zurhaar is in fact actually injured. Latham Vandermeer is injured for the Bulldogs, while Lewis Butler is dropped and makes way. Riley Garcia and Zane Cordy come in for the Dogs to replace Vandermeer and Butler, while Ford and Powell come into the side for North Melbourne. Tom Powell, like I said, is a medical sub, so he'll come into the side but will be starting as a medical sub. So he gets a game, but he may not step foot on the field. I don't like that rule. Jai Simpkin will be playing his 100th game, so another massive milestone. So if I haven't already, guys, I just want to say a massive congratulations to everyone playing a milestone game, their debut game, whatever it may be. Just a massive congratulations to this week for them all, especially if you're out there playing local football and are making a debut, playing your 50th, playing your 100th, playing your 500th game. I don't know, just congratulations to everyone making either their debuts or milestone games this week. I know I'm a fair way from my 50th game, unfortunately, but let's got to wait and see. But as I was saying, North Melbourne and the Bulldogs, Marvel Stadium, big game for both teams, especially for North Melbourne. Unfortunately, the Dogs are going to prove way too strong in this case and just absolutely run riot over them. Like I said, no Josh Bruce, so unfortunately no 10 goals from him this week. May not be in until mid this year. Hopefully we see him in a couple of games, because I love watching Josh Bruce play. Absolutely amazing. Yes, excellent Kilda, I know, but I've always grown up watching Josh Bruce. I just love his play style. I love how he attacks the footy, and his goal kicking is just phenomenal. The next game that we played, we've got a massive list of ins and outs for the West Coast Eagles. They take on the Sydney Swans at Optus Stadium, 5:40 p.m. We have 2 milestones for this one, so congratulations to those 2. Jamie Cripps playing game 200, James Rowbottom playing game 50. Jake Waterman and Josh Kennedy are the subs. So Jake Waterman from West Coast, Josh Kennedy from Sydney. There is 2 Josh Kennedys, so don't get confused. There is a Josh Kennedy from West Coast, there is a Josh Kennedy from Sydney. The Sydney Josh Kennedy is going to be the medical sub for them. So looking at the Eagles at the moment, we've got Bailey Williams, Elliot Yeo, Harry Edwards, Jamie Cripps, Luke Shuey and Tim Kelly coming back into the team, while Brady Hugh, Connor West, Jeremy McGovern, he's into health and safety protocols. Luke Edwards, Nick Natanui and Xavier O'Neill have all been dropped from the team. A couple of injured in there. So Connor West, Luke Edwards and Nick Nat all injured. Nick Nat's looking at a bit of an extended break on the bench. Unfortunately, he may be out anywhere between 6 to 12 weeks. So a couple of big names coming back in for West Coast who might be able to help. Unfortunately, the likes of Nick Natanui being out from the midfield might take a toll on them. Sydney, they bring in Logan McDonald to replace Lance Franklin. Unfortunately, Lance Franklin has broken his hand, so he'll be out for a couple of weeks. At most, probably at 6 weeks, if that. But that's a big letdown from Sydney. Lance Franklin being injured. Fortunately, you can't help that stuff, but it may impact them a lot going into this game. But Eagles haven't been consistent this year. They haven't had a consistent team. Every week they've had 5, 6, 7, 8 or more changes to the team. So they haven't been able to get anyone consistent, unfortunately. But both James Rowbottom playing his 50th, Jamie Cripps playing game 200, both are going to want to try and get that win come the end of the game to go out on a high. West Coast need the 4 points. Sydney probably not so much. But my tip ultimately will be going to Sydney. It's just going to prove way too strong there. But again, it could be a good game if you look at the recent history between the 2 teams. Saturday afternoon footy, Saturday morning technically, feels weird because there is no AFL women's games on Saturday morning this week. We have at 11:45 Marvel Stadium again, St Kilda and the Gold Coast Suns. Now these guys usually play some cracking games. I hope this is going to be another cracker. My beloved Saints playing up against the Gold Coast Suns. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see King versus King, as Ben King has unfortunately come down with an injury. So it'll just be the one King brother playing in Max King from St Kilda. So coming into the side for St Kilda, Jack Haynes and Jack Higgins. So we've got the 2 Jacks back. Hopefully Jack Higgins comes back in, obviously from concussion, and just shows why he's with us and has a massive outing. Jack Haynes, great prodigy, bright future ahead of him. Can't wait to see him back in action. Jimmy Webster, unfortunately, is under health and safety protocols. But the big turning point for the St Kilda Football Club was Paddy Ryder's suspension. He shouldn't have been suspended from that. He stood his ground, the guy ran into him. They checked him over, they reported saying that he had grazed the bottom of his chin, but other than that he was fine. From what I recall, he came back onto the field. Half-time he was then subbed out with concussion and used the term delayed concussion. Now there is no such thing as delayed concussion. So I feel like he shouldn't have been suspended for that. But Not much you can do. He did take it to the tribunal to try and get it overturned. Unfortunately, it was unsuccessful. So he'll be out for 2 games. So he'll miss St Kilda's game with Gold Coast, and he'll miss next week's game as well against the Giants. So Paddy Ryder being suspended, Jimmy Webster in health and safety protocols will bring the likes of Jack Haynes and Jack Higgins back into the team. Ryan Burns is named as the medical sub, while Jade Gresham will be playing game number 100 for the AFL. I think that's about 4 games in a row now that we've had some sort of milestone in them. It's great to see so many players racking up those milestones. Gold Coast, Lukosius is out injured, unfortunately, but that makes way for Markov to come back into the team. Rory Atkins is named as the medical sub. No milestones to report from them, but we'll just have to wait and see how that game plays out. My tip for that one, ultimately, that was a tough one when I looked at the fixtures, but Gold Coast beating Carlton last week, it was going to prove pretty tough. You're coming off winning against Carlton. Don't know what to expect. St Kilda coming off a monster game, but ultimately I'll probably have to go with my own team being St Kilda. It'll be a fantastic game though. I can't wait for that. I'll be up watching it. The next game, I keep forgetting I'm running on Saturday. The next game being played, Adelaide Oval, Adelaide versus Richmond. Adelaide desperately need this win. I can't keep saying this every week. Adelaide need to win. They need to get their head out of their ass into gear and get some wins on the board. Now is the time to do it. Make a statement, beat Richmond, but I don't think they'll be able to. But they need this. So Adelaide's team, we have Sam Berry and Shane McAdam coming back into the squad with Harry Steinenberg and Mitchell Hinge both out of the team. Hinge is injured, Steinenberg has been dropped for this game. James Rowe is acting as the medical sub for the Crows. Jake Arts and Nick Vastulin is coming in for Richmond for Josh Gibcus and Caden McIntosh. So McIntosh is in a health and safety protocol again. Unfortunately with COVID we just don't know the ins and outs each week until they're released and how many players are in health and safety protocols. Kibis is managed unfortunately, so that's a big loss for him. Probably not so much for Richmond bringing in Vastulin and Arts. But speak of Arts, he has been named as the medical sub, unfortunately. So James Rowe, Jake Arts, the respected medical subs for both teams. Great lineup there. Richmond's got my vote for that game. GWS, well, I should start with Melbourne versus GWS. A Melbourne home game at the G, the Coliseum of Aussie rules football. 5:25 PM, so under the lights of the G. Fantastic outing. Melbourne, Harrison Petty comes in. Adam Tomlinson has been admitted from the team. So that's an out there. We have no debutants for Melbourne, unfortunately. But we do have one to report from the Giants in Finn Callaghan. He'll be making his debut, and the other ins are Matt Flynn and Nick Haynes. They'll come in for the Giants for the likes of Perez through suspension, Isaac Cumming through health and safety protocols, and James Peatley, who has been admitted from the side. Jake Riccardi and Toby Bedford are named as the medical subs for both teams. Finn Callaghan, like I said, making his debut. I've heard a bit about this dude. I haven't seen him in action, haven't seen highlights of him, but I reckon he'll be in for a shock playing up against Melbourne at the G. Melbourne ultimately with this game for me. On to Sunday football. A big team. Both Carlton and Port Adelaide, big ins and outs. Big changes made here. 11:40 MCG game. Carlton have Durden, Nunes, Parks, Pennant, Cottrell and Dow all coming in for the likes of Boyd, Fogarty, Plowman, O'Brien, Cripps and De Koning all coming out of the team. Paddy Cripps is ultimately injured. He has done his calf. They believe he may only be out for this game against Port and then back next week, but at most he could probably be out anywhere 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the severity of it. Everyone else has just been dropped from the team, so the Carlton coach Michael Voss has swung the axe, as he stated, and that's the outcome. Paddy Dow will be the medical sub for the Carlton Football Club. Port Adelaide, on the other hand, they're coming with Alea, Jeremy Finlayson, and Robbie Gray, Sam Haynes. They all come into the side for the likes of Lockie Jones through health and safety protocol. Ollie Wines has been struck down with an illness. It's not COVID, luckily, but we hope for the very best for him in returning next week and getting over the illness. Sam Mays has been dropped and Scott Lysette is injured, unfortunately. Sam Haynes does come in for his debut though, so big congratulations to him playing his first game. Jed McIntyre is the medical sub. Ryan Burton as well, also playing his 100th game for the Port Adelaide Football Club against Carlton. Port needing a win. They are 0-4. Sorry, other way around. 0-4 to start the year. I don't think I've seen them play this badly. Carlton coming off a shock loss to Gold Coast Suns up at Metricon last week. They're going to want to look at rebuilding, or not rebuilding, but rebounding and taking this W against Port Adelaide. Ultimately, Carlton, I reckon, will come out with it, but it'll be a fairly close game. I'm hoping anyway. Another game being played. The last game that we played on Sunday. We do have a Monday game this week. Last game being played on a Sunday. Ben Hobbs and Nick Cox plus Tom Cutler will be coming into the team for Essendon as they take on Fremantle. Braden Ham, Tex Wanganeen and Will Snelling have all been, unfortunately, well, 2 of them have been dropped. Snelling has been listed as injured, so I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know when he's back. So if you guys hear anything that I'm missing right now, drop it down below. Ben Hobbs making his debut, so congratulations to him. Tom Cutler will be the medical sub. Fremantle's ins, Pierce Sarong Tucker coming in for Logan Schultz and Erasmus. Logan and Erasmus have both been omitted from the team. Lockie Schultz, unfortunately, health and safety protocols has taken him. Darcy Tucker has been listed as the medical sub for the Fremantle Dockers. So my bet with that one is I reckon Essendon's gonna want to try and get another win on here. And what do I do against Fremantle? Marvel Stadium. Massive home game for them. Essendon for the win. We have one game on a Monday afternoon of football to round out a massive week of Aussie rules footy. It is the big clash, the one everyone likes to look forward to on Easter Monday. If you don't, well, I don't know what's wrong with you. You probably don't like AFL. But get your family around. Massive Monday of football on Easter Monday, obviously on Channel 7. Jacob Kaczynski, Liam Shields and Tom Phillips all come in for the Hawthorn team to take on Geelong at 1:20 p.m. at the MCG. Daniel Howe, Finn Magnus, something like that. Sorry if I pronounce his names wrong, still getting used to these new names coming through. And Will Day have all been dropped from the team. Will Day is actually injured, unfortunately. James Werple has been named as the medical sub. Geelong bringing back some experience in Joel Selwood and Tom Stewart, both really big names. Love the club. Hopefully they perform at their top. Quinton Narkle is unfortunately injured, so he'll make way for Selwood. He may go back through the VFL if he's deemed fit. Zach Guthrie is out as the Medi sub. Geelong's medical sub, or Geelong sub. Unfortunately, I'm not actually going to try and pronounce his name. It's too long. It's too hard to pronounce. It's Jake Kolajasny, I think it is. Colin Jasny. Just correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but I think it's Colin Jasny, I believe. He'll be the medical sub alongside James Warple of Hawthorn. Brandon Parfitt will be playing game number 100 for Geelong this week. So a big congratulations to him, a big congratulations to everyone that will be making their debuts or playing the milestone game, whether it's local football, state league, or even the AFL. But we have got a massive week of Australian rules football with a couple of big matchups which I can't wait to and looking forward to. If you haven't already, guys, go and check out my last video that will run through last week's results. This week's results will be up eventually. I will get that done. I'm going to change the format a bit with this. If you watch all the way here, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, but changing the format a little bit for now, being just me. My colleague is unfortunately in isolation, so I wish him all the very best, but I'm changing up a bit until he gets back. I am going to be doing a review preview. I just had to stop and think for a second then. We're doing a review preview, so starting this week I will do a review of round 5, but at the same time as in the video will be a preview of round 6. So stay tuned for that, guys. It will take a little bit longer, I'm sorry, but I need to find a way to extend this out a little bit. So I'm hoping it works a lot easier on this. But guys, thank you for tuning in for another episode. Hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Leave a like on the video. Follow us on Facebook at All Things Aussie Football. The link's in the description down below. Put the bell notification on and let me know what you guys think about the show, what you guys like, what you guys don't like, and what I need to change. I will be updating these jerseys as we go eventually. So you may see more, you may see less on there. They'll be updated. Let me know what you guys think anyway. Other than that, thank you for tuning in for another episode of All Things Aussie Footy. As always, my name is Ashley. It's been a pleasure having you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day and happy Easter.